Hey everybody, thanks for making your way back to the channel. I'm going to start doing something new today. It's going to be the first one of these videos, but doing trail camera updates just throughout the summer and throughout the deer season, just to kind of show you what kind of deer I'm chasing after. Uh, I like to run. I'll run through today, the deer we were chasing last year, the ones that we think might still be alive, and show you just some of the early velvet pictures that we've gotten so far. Because of course it's early June, so it's just early summer, and really don't can't even tell which deer these are by looking at the pictures yet. But it's cool to start seeing them grow and see that velvet develop. And so just want to run through some of that with you real quick, and then I'll show you some of the deer from last year. But anyways, uh, I'll just go ahead and start off with some of the velvet pictures. Some cool buck ones that we've gotten. Let's see this one here. Yeah, this is just a cool picture. Light kind of lit these two bucks up. I don't know why they're sniffing each other, but whatever. So you can tell, not a whole lot of growth on any of them. You see a little mineral block back there. But it's just cool to start getting these pictures. Let's see what we got here. I've marked a few of them. Obviously, won't go through all of them, but starting to grow early on. These are from early May. So all the pictures, the most recent card pull we've done was last Saturday. So it was probably early June, 3rd or 4th of June when we went and pulled these cards. And let's see some other bucks. This is a cool picture. Foggy. Our property sits borders a lake, and so we get a lot of fog coming off the lake a lot of times. So this is real foggy. You can barely see that brow tine starting to pop up on that one. That looks like it's got decent mass and the white around its eyes. That's a pretty deer. A little bit later in May. And then we've got some. Let me see if I've got the right one here. No, this is a different one, but still, this is a pretty shot. Couple different bucks in this one. That one's starting to split. One thing that was cool that we noticed is that this shot and the first one that I showed you, this comes from a particular area that there's a ton of deer in, but that we didn't get any buck pictures at all last summer. So earlier in the year, back early May, late May, we were getting a few bucks, and then when we went and pulled it in June, we haven't gotten any bucks in this spot the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is exactly what happened to us last summer. And the places where we got all of our buck pictures last summer, we had bucks there again after, from the middle of May on. So it's cool that they seem to kind of be following that same pattern. I don't know if will continue, but I don't know. We're just starting to really learn a whole lot more about patterning deer and just buck bedding locations and that kind of stuff. This is a cool picture because this is by far the most developed deer we've got so far. Still, obviously can't tell who that is, but it's fun to see a whole group of them in there. One back here starting to split, but that one was so far beyond. And I think this one back here may even have, I can't zoom in much further. Yeah, it looks like nubs to me. That one was just so far beyond the rest of the bucks as far as how developed they are that just gets me excited. When was this? That's later May 21st. Okay, let's see. And then this is most exciting to me by far. Let's see. It's the only picture that I have of this deer, and it's the only picture that I had this day, but look at the nubs on this sucker. Ooh, that looks a little bit more substantial. I didn't even, when we first were throwing these through the card, I didn't even notice that it had nubs. I was just like, man, that deer looked a little bit different. That looked like older, like that's probably a buck. And then I zoomed in and saw the nubs, and I was like, oh yeah. Another one, another buck there, another deer back here. We can't tell what that is. And you'll see, yeah, we've got a few of these cameras set up where we will put corn out. You can't hunt over corn during the deer season, but we will put it out during the summertime just to help us take inventory and know what we've got out there. Deer season starts end of September here, so we don't really put corn out the entire month of September just to make sure it's all gone. But it is definitely helpful because I personally don't have the equipment to put food plots in myself, and usually those go in around August. So just to help get the deer some food, figure out what we've got out there, we put corn. Judge me if you want to, whatever. But that one, I've moved that camera a little bit closer to where I think those bucks are bedding at, and I'm really, really hopeful that I start getting some better pictures of this buck. And that was middle of May. So I can't wait to see what that one has grown to, if I can tell who he is. I'm assuming it's probably going to be the biggest deer on the camera. Okay. Any others? Oh, this was just a funny picture. We can pretend that's a buck, but just a nice nose. All right. Since obviously those bucks aren't big, they're not growing through all their velvet yet. For this first episode of this whole checking the trail camera thing, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you what deer we were chasing last year. I was chasing the deer that I specifically knew which ones they were and was trying to kill. Oh, let me show you this too before I do that. Where'd that go? There's a doe. I have a hit list doe, you could say. I got pictures of this doe last year, and I've gotten pictures of her again in the same spot this year. Where I am seeing this doe at, there's always a bunch of does on this side of the property, and I shot one, two, I can't remember. I shot at least one doe out of this spot yesterday in a big group of them. So she may have been in this group, and I didn't even notice. But I'm going to call this one Holy Nosy, because it's weird, and I've got some better pictures of it, but and it's a really nice doe, this hole in her nose that she's had the last 2 years. I mean, that looks like bone. Like, it looks like it's all the way through her nose. And I can't remember if there was a separate doe that had something wrong with her eye last year. I don't think it was the same one, but this whole one that's got the big hole in the nose, if there's going to be a doe on hit list, that's her. I'd like to kill her just to see what is going on with her face. It's not a CWD thing, as far as I can tell, because that's the only thing wrong with her. So I don't know, just something weird for me to look for. But anyways, oh, and this is cool too. I stuck some of these pictures in here. A lot of very pregnant does. So I'm assuming, because I didn't see a lot of pregnant does the last week or two, so I'm assuming that they're starting to drop their fawns and the fawns are just bedded up somewhere. I don't know. But anyways, that's cool to see. That's always a good sign. So got a few of those pictures. We got a lot of mamas to be running around out there. Yeah, there's two of them, it looks like. But anyways, so does. So the deer from last year, the bucks from last year. Here's my mistake, is that in an effort one day to clear off space on my computer, I deleted a lot of pictures. Well, I had put all the buck pictures in individual folders, and thinking I could delete them from the basic file, the basic album, and they would still be in the folders, and they weren't. So I lost hundreds and hundreds of pictures of these bucks. But there was one card from last year that didn't get cleared off, and when I went to check that camera this summer, it still had some pictures on it. So pretty much all of the bucks that I'd named, I've gotten pictures of. Not every single one of them, but most of them. What am I doing? Oh, this is the wrong thing. Okay. So I start with kind of a disappointing story. And this is Hitch. This is a buck I called Hitch, and we're 99% sure that this buck's dead. We think that the neighbor shot him opening day of muzzleloader season, which I knew was going to happen because he was spending all of his time in this one little area that was right on the property line. And bow season was my chance to kill him, and I shot right underneath him at 44 yards early October. So anyways, this is Hitch. He was the biggest deer that we got pictures of last year. And actually, let me just go ahead and do this first. Is it going to let me? Yeah. Okay. So there's 3 bucks in here, and I'll show you other pictures of these other 2 bucks. So this is last August, and this was the coolest video we got. So all 3 of these bucks I was able to name. And really, just because I named them doesn't mean that they were hit listers for me, you would say. But I just like being able to tell the difference and give them names. So sue me. But anyways, this one in the back is Hitch. Kansas is this one that just kicked this smaller 8-pointer in the head. But look at him. Oh, look at that. Majestic. So I named this deer Hitch because he's got that brow tine. I'll show you a better picture of it. This one brow tine kind of kicks off like a little hitchhiker's thumb. So that's why I named him Hitch. This deer I called Benz. He's kind of just a narrow, basic 8-pointer. Got quite a few pictures of him. And then this deer in the back is a really, really nice buck. They all got bigger from even this point in early August. He's not going to pick his head up again in that video. But the deer in the back, I called Kansas for whatever. I can't really remember why. But Oh, yes, I do. I do remember why, because this is how my mind works. There was an old hunting video. I don't know what it was. It's probably a Real Tree video or Buckmasters, where they shot a buck in Kansas and the two main beams almost touched. Well, that deer, its main beams come really close together, and so I thought, oh, it reminds me of that buck I saw somebody shoot in Kansas. So I named that deer Kansas. But Hitchhiker, real quick. This is yeah, that looks like the Bone Collector logo. And so I always thought that was a cool picture of that buck. But yeah, the neighbor shot. It's like, I shot a real nice 8-pointer, about a 160-pound buck. And he was spending all of his time around, and I just knew that that's where. Oh shoot, I've already shown you that one. I'm gonna see if I can find a good picture of his brow tine. Maybe I can't. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. Again, a lot of the pictures got deleted, but you can see that was kind of see what I'm talking about there. Anyways, but I feel really confident that there's going to be a lot of deer out there this year that have grown a lot bigger than that buck was last year, because none of these bucks that I'm showing you we killed. Had the opportunity to shoot a couple of them, and I didn't, and I'm glad that I had the chance to shoot them and didn't, because nobody else would have passed them, which is fine. I don't care if other people shoot them. I just really want to let these deer get big. So let me blow this up real quick. It might mess me up. I'm not sure. Okay, this one on the left is Kansas. This deer was weird because after summer, I mean, even before the season started, he disappeared, and I never got a single picture of this buck all during deer season. Being said, I mean, the main beams come a little bit close together. The brow tines are real obvious compared to some of the other deer. This is Hitch in the back on this tree. This video is kind of being glitchy, so I'm just going to drag through it. And this buck, there's Forky. This ends up being one of my probably very favorite deer right here. I'll show you some better pictures of him in just a second. That's Forky. You can kind of get a look of what his antlers look like there. But Hitch, Kansas, and Forky, they ran together pretty much all summer long. Benz was with them some too. But Hitchhiker and Forky are the only two deer that I ever saw on the hoof. No, that you've seen so far. There's one more. Poke. I'm a little bit sporadic when I talk and through things, so I apologize. Just try to follow along. Okay, but yeah, Kansas, even just in the pictures that survived, those two videos are the only videos that I have of him. I never got a picture of him on his own. He never was just cruising through and past any of the cameras in the rut. I have no idea what happened to him. I don't know if he died before the season started, which is not when you would expect him to die. He looked fine. So he's a deer that I would love to have show back up, because he's a dandy. Especially this year, if he survived, he'd be a really, really nice buck. Okay, let's go ahead and do Forky. This was a deer that I hate and love to talk about. So Forky, let's see a picture. Oh, that's a perfect picture. Okay, so the two deer to me that I wanted to shoot last year were Hitchhiker and Forky. Hitchhiker because he was the biggest buck we had. He's probably a 3.5-year-old, and it was just really all around solid deer. Forky, and we saw Hitchhiker a few times. This might be, I don't think that's Hitch. We saw Hitchhiker, I want to say 3 times in person between me and my uncle. My uncle saw, and it was all during bow season, obviously, because he got shot during muzzleloader. All kind of where I knew he was living. Although let me move this. The night that I saw Hitch, he came from a total other side of the property I didn't expect him to be coming from, because I watched him for about an hour before I actually had my chance to take a shot at him. And Forky was the other one that I wanted to kill, just because he was odd. He was just different. And I really, really like this. So when you see him right here, he looks really not impressive. But he's got this left side main beam that kind of comes up and kicks down, which is weird. And both sides kind of like come up and like almost look like little slingshot V's. So Forky, I really, really liked, and I actually shot Forky during the bow season, and it was so confusing to me at the time. Yes. Okay. I'll come back to that picture. I shot him, it was somewhere around mid-October, October 15th, maybe. There you can see. Oh, that's a great picture of him. Okay. Really, really obvious. I mean, you're not going to see this deer on the hoof and like, oh, I can't tell if that's that deer or not. Okay. Easy to tell. He's got a lot of character, which I like a lot. Let's see. That's him over there. I don't know if any of these pictures are going to be much better. Yeah, you can see that again there. Okay. But yeah, I was set up actually in the same stand the same tree that I took the shot at Hitchhiker from. And I had a doe come out right underneath me. And she was acting really, really weird. And it was weird that I wasn't going to shoot the doe. I was like, she's acting weird. There's something's after. And we get some coyotes and bobcats and stuff chasing deer around sometimes. But sure enough, about 15 minutes later, Hitch comes out. I had the perfect broadside shot, and I hit him a little bit high. I was shooting a Twizzler, a little kitty arrow, which I'm going to get into later in the summer. But just spoiler alert, go watch every video that Ranch Fairy has ever put out on YouTube about adult arrows and actually killing what you shoot. I was not enlightened then about the arrows that I'm shooting. And I think it just stuck in that offside, and I know I didn't get passed through. But I felt really, really good about the shot. I'd called my uncle who I hunt with, and I'm like, hey, I shot that forky deer and I'm jacked up. And I went and I found the arrow. There wasn't a drop of blood anywhere other than on the shaft of the arrow. So that was a whole ordeal. But that was mid-October, and there were a lot of different times throughout the year where I got pictures of Forky. This one, I'm 95% sure is him. Towards the end of November. So a decent chance that he survived. He'd made it through the first. Well, actually, that's probably about when gun season started. So who knows if he's alive or not. But he at least survived the shot. It didn't get passed through. He actually, the arrow wedged in a V as he was running away from the shot and pulled the arrow out of him, because I found the arrow was just stuck in that notch of the tree, which was I was relieved when I found the arrow and then disappointed when I saw what it looked like. But anyways, so Forky, I'd love to see Forky again. I was just glad that he survived it, because I wasn't sure that he would, but I'd love to see what that deer looks like now. Let's see. That's the video we already watched. This is a good one of him. Here he is. This obviously when he's still in velvet, but him and I think Hitch comes in right here on the left side. And again, I don't know why these videos are being so glitchy. Yeah, there's Hitch. Man, he was a nice deer. And I loved how that back, what would that be, G3? Yeah, kind of kicks up and kicks back to the left. Anyways. So that's Forky, Hitch. They were buds. I shot at both of them. 0 for 2. But I'm going to get a lot better at that this year. I'm excited to do that video a lot here in about a month. Okay, Ben's, Forky, Kansas. Okay, Poke. This is a dumb deer. This is not a smart deer. And so I'm going to I hope he's alive, because I think he could be a real pretty deer, a nice deer. He is not the brightest. This deer I got more pictures of than any other deer. I'm just going to click through a bunch of them real quick. Just a real basic 8-pointer. Not hardly any mass on him. But the brow tines, I call him Poke. I'll see if there's a good picture. But I call him Poke because his 2 brow tines, this one especially, they just look like when you sharpen a pencil down really small, like you just stick somebody with one of your friends in class. That's what he reminded me of. So I'm like, oh, you poke you with that brow tine. I'll call him Poke. But I got pictures of him a ton all the time on a lot of different cameras. Same general area, probably same 20 or 30 acres. But I got pictures of him a ton. This is Ben's. There's a better picture of Ben's when his velvet comes off. But I saw him a ton on the hoof. I saw him the night that I shot at Hitch, and I saw him the day that I shot Forky. I had traipsed around in this 15, 20 acre field for an hour trying to find blood and trying to find the arrow, talking on the phone, carrying on, just out in the middle of this food plot. And I turned the corner from the food plot, still in the field, and he's just standing there looking at me like, hey, I've been here the whole time. Saw him those 2 nights. I saw him a couple different times from another stand that was close by. We saw Poke a lot, and he was the one that I'm like, if I see him, I'm not going to shoot him, and I really hope nobody else kills him because I want to see what he looks like next year. I don't know. He's probably he looked kind of slim all summer long. He's probably just a 2.5-year-old. If I was guessing, I'm not great at aging deer like that, but I'd say he's probably a 2.5-year-old, and he could end up being a really good looking deer this next year, if he's still with us. But that's Poke. That's Poke. I like Poke. I like Poke because I could count on him to have some buck pictures on the cameras. Hitch, Benz, Poke, Buster. Oh, Buster, this is a weird deer. So this is a deer that showed up in the middle of the season. These two pictures are two of the only ones that I got of in the middle of November. I called him Buster because it looks like he's busted a few different points off at this point. That was what day was that? 19th? Yeah. Evening of the 19th. He might have just turned December 6th. So he was around for a little while at the end of the season. I just called him Buster because it looked like he broke some points off. He might even be a little. See, this makes it look like it's his left beam that's got that G2 broken off of. If I sound like I'm a little illiterate, it's possible. And that makes it look like it's his right beam that's got that point busted off. So he could be a 10-pointer if he holds on to everything, and if he is even around, shows back up. But we were seeing him early December still. I think I had a few more pictures of him that got deleted, but still not a ton, and didn't see him for the longest time. All right. This is a neat deer. I like 6-pointers, and I think that this could end up being a big 6-pointer if he survived. I think he did, because we ended up seeing him late into December. So just a real basic, nothing special 6-pointer, but it's not like a little basket rack 6. Okay. And you got to understand, we don't have a ton of big deer historically out here. So I'm trying to let some of these deer grow where we've got some bigger deer, but look, that like Hitch, that's a big one. I'm shooting him 8 days a week. He's not going to get a pass. Like, that's a deer, 3.5, especially 4.5-year-old, like as much. And I get it. Like, people say, well, the only way to make sure they don't live is to kill them yourself. Like, yeah, we've got hunting pressure around us, but like, I'm going to shoot that deer if I get a chance to. All right. This is another picture. These are all at 6-pointer, but he's a cool looking deer. And if he stays a 6, which I kind of hope he does, and he's still alive this year, he could end up being a really nice deer. I like this. He's wide-eyed around all those ladies. And they kind of do a cool little kick thing. You can see it in all the pictures. They kind of kick a little bit. Kick up and out. Kind of see it right there. So I don't have a name for this deer yet. He was around in mid-October, and he was through November. I think that I've got a picture of this deer in December, like late December. And it may not be one of these, but I remember seeing one somewhere. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe he's dead. Maybe he's not. Let's see. 6-point Kansas, cool pick. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Unidentified white-tailed deer. That's what UWD stands for. This deer and this deer are the same deer, but only pictures that I had of them. Once that late October, early November started to roll around, we started to see a lot of deer that we weren't familiar with. This one, I just can't tell who it is. It might be a new deer. It might be one that has its own file, and I just can't tell. This one, so blurry, I'm never going to be able to tell who that is. But I kept it anyways. It could be the same one as the last picture. It could be this one up here. I don't know. That's just a little one. I kept this one because I think that I have his horns hanging on our chandelier in our carport, because I think I need to go outside and look. I think this is the deer that my uncle shot like the last day of season. It may not have been the last day of season, but it was darn close if it wasn't. And then this buck, I don't know. I wish I knew who that is. This one, I think it's just a 6. I don't think this one has brow tines. And if he does, I think they're broken off. But I've got another picture of him somewhere. Not there. I've got another picture somewhere of a 6-pointer with no brow tines. That doesn't look like that's it. But anyways, that's that. I've got this little file of just random cool pictures. I don't remember what all is on this. Oh, yeah. Well, if you watch the channel at all, you know I'm a terrible turkey hunter. Well, look what was out there. Oh, no, that's not it. What is this? Oh, just a pregnant doe. Oh, well, that's cool too. This was March 15th, which I think was probably like 2 days before season open. I can't remember because I didn't hunt right when season opened, but look at that. You're just mocking me. We've gotten a cool video of a coyote running. Nope. Oh, but this is cool. You'll like this. Maybe you won't. I don't know you. I don't know your story, but you might think this is cool. Look at all the little turkey poults. That's cool. 1, 2, 3. Again, glitching. I'm not sure why. Look at it. Gobble, gobble. Yeah, that's cool. And then we've got, there's a cool video of Poke in here. No, there's not. There's a cool video of this coyote. That was 7:30. I've never looked. I wonder if that was. Nope, that was before the turkey poults. Okay. We got some cool bobcat stuff. That's not it, though. We do have quite a few bobcats out here. I've only ever seen them in 2 different spots, but we've got, she's with child. And it may not, I'm just going to have to click through all these for too long to find them. But anyways, there you go. So that's first trail camera check. I'm going back this weekend to try and, I mentioned I don't have the equipment to plant food plots. I'm going to try to use a foot-powered crimper and broadcast soybean seeds on about half an acre and see if that grows at all. It might be a miserable failure. There might not be a single bean seed pop up, but we're going to try it. We'll check trail cameras again. It'll only have been a week, so that probably won't get its own episode, but you'll definitely see the efforts for the soybean crimping. So check it out. Thanks for watching the video. Should have quite a few of these because we check trail cameras at least every 2 weeks or so. But thanks for watching. It's finally starting to transition to deer season, and I'm really, really excited about it.